right, 712. That's the number of Democrats who are running for president. No, it seems like that. This weekend we were going live. We caught all of these announcements, including Elizabeth Warren's. And then yesterday, of course, you saw Amy Klobuchar in the snow and all. But it's an expanding field, and they're not done yet. The read on what they're saying and the boxes they're checking off, I was discussing during the break with Robert Wolf. Let's get into that with him. We also have GOP strategist Justin Sayfie and the Washington Examiner's Tiana Lowe. To a man or woman at this stage, Robert, they're all in agreement on the big stuff, right? The big stuff being?
Healthcare is a right, climate change, pro-immigration, and gun reform. And all of them, from populist to moderate, have to check those 4 boxes. Then I believe it's who can best beat Trump. And I think you have to be a pro-growth Democrat to be able to beat Trump. You have to be strong in the economy.
Okay, because, Justin, the immediate thing that raises is that they go too far with some of these big government initiatives and going after the rich. And when I even heard that Amy Klobuchar was buying on to this Green Deal, there might be nuances in that approach, but it isn't cheap. So what do you think?
Well, yeah, if it's true that the Democrats need to have a pro-growth Democrat, they're going to have a hard time because the progressives in the Democratic Party are going to pull them all the way to the left. Bit more social programs, higher tax rates, Green New Deal, payment for everyone who doesn't want to work, unwilling to work, as we saw in AOC's original statement on that. So it's going to be a big challenge for them to maintain moderacy because they're going to get dragged all the way to the left side of their party.
Congressman Cortez on that one, who does seem to sort of be leading the direction, at least the fervor of the party, but not across the board. Tiana, where do you see this going?
Democrats are really going to find themselves in a bind if they do get pulled a little bit too far left, if they don't have this Obama-like candidate who can get maximum turnout. Because right now, Monmouth says that 56% of voters just value a candidate who can beat Trump over ideological purity. However, I think that we'll see that change if Democrats decide that they want to run on these multi-trillion-dollar spending packages, wealth taxes, and estate taxes. I mean, if you're just going to run against...
Republicans are no stranger to $1 trillion worth of spending and building big deficits and debt, right? So they're both pretty good at that, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is a difference, though, between a $3 trillion tax cut and a Green New Deal that's going to cost in the tens of trillions in the first decade alone with no taxes to fund it.
All right, we don't know the details on that because, as you said, there aren't a lot of details on that. But, Robert, I'm wondering about who could win. Is it your sense that some have a better network of support, donors? I mean, Kamala Harris's name comes up a lot for that. Beto O'Rourke, who hasn't announced but might, as a sensation who can raise money. Of course, Joe Biden. Any of the entrants there that I mentioned and others who could come in, pique your interest or have a very good shot?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've been fortunate to sit down with probably 8 of those who have announced so far.
Is that right?
Yep. And, you know, Kamala and Kirsten and Corey, there's a whole group that's incredibly exciting. I don't think you can discount, you know, Vice President Biden, who on the national stage during the midterms was the #1 surrogate.
Do you think he'll enter?
My gut feel is this time around he's going to come in.
All right.
I think he's ready to show that he can beat Donald Trump, but the president. But irrespective,
I like you say, by the way, the president.
Yeah, I want to make sure. I don't want to disrespect the office.
Gotcha. All
but
right.
Irrespective of who comes in, okay, it's not going to be the far left versus the center, because on these various social issues, they're all in agreement. It's going to be, at the end of the day, like we always debate, who's best on the economy and who's best on foreign policy.
All right, well, Justin, the president obviously didn't accidentally, in his State of the Union address, refer to the socialist way to these, he called it and described it, and so he could be teeing up his approach to any of these guys, right?
He absolutely is. He's the master of defining the opposition. We saw that in the 2016 campaign, and you saw that when he mentioned socialism in the State of the Union address. And if the Democrats are going to nominate someone who's to the far left of their party, they can expect to have some of those socialist policies tagged on them and hung around their neck by the president with his Twitter feed with 58 million followers on Twitter.
All right, but he could be polling better, Tiana, so he is right to be taken down. Is it your sense that he's got to sharpen his focus, avoid the tweeting, stick to the big issues? He's been fairly, big picture since the State of the Union. What do you think?
Absolutely. You see, whenever Trump takes a step back and doesn't let the news cycle revolve solely around him, his numbers always go up. People like a good economy. They like the sense that we're achieving some victories in the Middle East. The general sense is that the country itself is moving somewhat in the right direction, at least in an improved way. But then when he makes himself the story, it does him no favors. We already saw after the shutdown, his numbers have been there have been mild increases in his approval rating. But he has to just avoid making himself the center of the story.
And it is still early, I think, as all of you would remind me. We have a lot more coming up on this, including some surprises on the tax refund issue. Not because of the IRS potentially shutting down again, but the refund checks themselves that are going out. After this.